may be looking for a DJI Alternative in 2025, and if you're watching this video 6 months from the date of the making of this video, it's possible that DJI may be banned in the United States. So today we're going to check out a drone called the Potensic Atom 2. This is under 250 grams. It has 4K video at 30 frames per second, and it has a 32-minute flight time on here. It does have a Fly More combo, which is about the same price as the DJI 4K drone. So $450 will get you 3 batteries, the charger, a case, and a bunch of accessories, 4 packs of props in there, some extra hardware, and a screwdriver for the propellers. It's also folding drone. It has 4K HDR video on there as well, and it also has active smart transfer from the drone to your phone, which is kind of a nice option. So of all your media back to your phone. It does not have any obstacle avoidance on here, but it does have AI tracking in the app, follow me, orbit mode, and a bunch of cool stuff I'm going to show you in this review, as well as an AI assisted night pixelation fix mode, whatever that is. These batteries are Li-ion and they are rechargeable by a USB-C cable, so you can do that from the wall, or you can use the 3-up charger, and they are 2S22 30 milliamp batteries. It also has optical zoom on here, and it will do an 8K photo still, which is pretty impressive, as well as panoramic photos. So let's take this little drone out. Let me show you the flight modes and what the video looks like and the app. All right, guys, we're at the field now with the Atom 2. Let's go ahead and get it up in the air. I've got the app open. Make sure you download the newest app. It's called Potensic Evo. And once you have that installed on your screen, you can go ahead to the Fly Now. Click on Fly Now, and you should be connected to the drone. If you're not, you might have to rebind it or repair it. So I have enough satellites now that we could go ahead and launch. And all I have to do to launch really is just go sticks down into the center. Just like that. The motors will start, and I'm in stick mode too. I'm gonna go ahead and take off. Now come out to a slow hover. I'm just gonna check out how well the optical flow, the altitude hold, and the positioning do underneath. I can also do like an auto hand landing. If I press down on the stick, it'll land in my hand. Okay, let's go ahead and take off again. Sticks down to the center. We'll go ahead and come up. And we're gonna check out that hover to see how stable it is with the optical flow, GPS positioning, all that good stuff. So the cool thing is too, I have zoom on here as well as gimbal operation. It'll go up to about 20 degrees up and all the way down to 90 degrees toward the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around now and fly out into the field. We're gonna stop right here. We're gonna press record. And there are some different record modes on here that we can do. We can choose from quite a few different record modes. So if you click that little icon right there, you can see that we have video in normal mode. We have AI night mode, which is super cool. We have slow motion. So you can click on that and you can do 5X, 4X, 3X, 2X slow motion. So if I come over here and walk in front of the camera, say we click 2X slow motion, once I get in the frame, I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. And now you should see some slow motion happening. So if I do a karate kick, that should be in slow motion. Now we can go ahead and stop that video. So that was slow-mo in 2X. And again, you have 3X, 5X, and we have AI night mode. And it has to be dark for that to actually work right now. You can also switch it back to normal. And then aside from normal mode, we can also switch it from standard mode to HDR. If you go down to the very bottom, you click on 4K, it'll bring up that standard color menu, and you'll also be able to switch over to HDR. So I'm gonna switch on HDR now, and you can see it lighten up. So when I switch to HDR, it lightens everything up. So on the super kind of dark days in the winter, HDR would look pretty good. So recording at 16:9, 30 frames per second at 4K. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you the photo modes. I'm just gonna jump right into this. So we can click on that film mode again, and then we can go to photo. We have several different types of photos that we can do. We can do single mode, we can do interval timers, which is pretty cool if you're doing like a group shot and you want it to be in it. You can set your transmitter down, do the interval timer. BRK, it also shoots AK RAW photos as well. So let's shoot an AK photo. we could also do a burst. So I'm just gonna come over here and try out that 8K karate kick. And one more to the side. All right, not bad for an old guy. Okay, so I have 24 satellites on here as well. You can also do a panorama, which should be kind of cool. So I did turn to the right, now it's going back to the left. I don't quite know what it's doing, but we'll see how that stitches together. Maybe I'm in there twice. I did move a little bit, so it'd be interesting to see what the result of that is. If you want to see the result, once it's done, you can go into your photo album and look at the results. So now it should be done. And we can go to photos here. It looks like 12 megabytes on the 4.3 photo we just did. We can do a wide angle panorama. Let's try a vertical one. I'm gonna take a vertical one now. I'm gonna press go here. All right. So if you're on the side of a mountain or something like that, that should be pretty cool. So right now, 50, 75%. And on your really hot days, your super hot days, you're gonna get a little less battery performance. But we should be able to do this whole review in all these different modes on this. So now we're gonna go back to video. And I think I should show you some of the flight modes here. We have return to home, obviously is one of the big ones. Okay, to get to the flight modes, you have to go inside the settings and uncheck beginner mode. We're also gonna turn on sport and normal mode. So we have to bring it up to 8 meters. So we're gonna go ahead and fly it up to 8 meters. And we're gonna try out these different flight modes. So normal mode will look like this. Okay, this is full stick forward right here. And I'm gonna stop before I get to those trees. It's always hard to tell depth perception when you're flying a drone at a distance. So that's normal mode. We'll come back to here and we'll stop. So I have it on C2 right here. Now we're in video mode. So video mode should move a little slower, more cinematic. So if you're looking to make that kind of video, that's the cool thing about video mode. A little more stable, kind of a slower yaw axis on it. And again, I can move the camera gimbal down like this. And I can also use, if I want to zoom in, this is the optical zoom up to, I believe it was 4x. That's pretty good. So if you're doing any kind of roof inspection or something like that, or you just want to zoom into a subject, pretty cool. So now we're going to bring that camera up and racing toward myself. I'm going to go ahead and put it into sport mode now. Now I'm in sport mode. So now that we're up high, let's go ahead and do some forward flight. I'm going to bring that camera down to about 0 degrees so I can see where I'm going. And now I'm going to go full throttle up. And look at that. That's pretty cool. So now we're just cruising the neighborhood. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and record the 4K and show you that on the screen. And this is going to be a lot faster. So you can see the mountain over there. That's beautiful. Be nice to go a little bit higher. But right now I do have my altitude limited. So think about that. If you're at your maximum altitude and you see trees and things like that in the way, you just want to be super careful about that. Okay, and now I'm going to scroll back around here until I find the park. We're going to look this way and we're going to zoom down, and there we are right down there. So now I'm going to hit return to home. And we're going to see how return to home works. So we're going to hit one of two options. One is land and the other is return. So I'm going to hit return. That way we don't go straight down to the ground where the drone is. Because if you hit land, it'll go right down to the ground where the drone is hovering. So that may be useful in some scenarios, depending on where you're flying. And now we're going to see how close to the landing pad it gets. So I'm going to go ahead and press my C1 button here. That brings it up to 0 degrees. If I press it again, this is cool, it'll bring it down to 90 degrees. So I can see my landing pad now, It's coming down to the home point. And generally, like, DJI drones will land back on the landing pad. But in my experiences so far, this one landed about 4 or 5 feet away from the landing pad. So we'll see where it lands now. We're recording this from multiple angles. We've got the 4K camera on a tripod. Got my hat cam going. This is hands off. If it's gonna land on the bag there, which would not be a good place, we just press up and it takes it immediately out. So that's pretty cool. If you hit throttle up, it'll take it out of return to home. And it was gonna hit the bag there, so that would not be good. Now I'm gonna turn around here and we're just checking our battery level. We're at 54%. And right now we're in normal flight mode. You'll also have a physical button on here as well, marked H, which will return to home. And again, I can stop the video on the transmitter. Now I can press that C1 again, that'll bring me back to level, which is super cool. Instead of having to pan all the way up or kind of rotate all the way up with the dial, that's kind of a nice quick way to do that. So you can also do hand takeoffs, but you have to activate that inside the settings. So I'm gonna make sure my fingers are out of the way. I'm gonna press the C2 button there, that is our modes button. If I hold down the throttle all the way for 2 seconds, it should start to power up. Okay, if we press up on the stick, it should take off. So looking good. I'm gonna give it a second. We have 24 satellites on board right now, and we are in low power mode. So I'm gonna go ahead back into the settings now, and I can change that. Now that I'm off the ground, it'll let me change it back to 4K. So we're gonna go ahead and start that video again. Now we'll go ahead and turn around and fly out into the field. And we should do some forward flight. Let's go ahead and get into sport mode again, and we'll take it up and we'll do some cruising. So we're gonna go back into the control menus here, and we're gonna put it into sport mode inside the settings. And it wants me to do that at 8 meters again. So remember, I have to fly up to 8 meters to be able to get it into sport mode. Now, once I'm up there, I can go ahead and click sport mode on the transmitter. And now I should be in sport mode. It shows me on the screen that I am. So I'm gonna go up a little bit higher here. Now, when you're in sport mode, you can really hear it take off. So there's the mountain over there. We're just gonna cruise around here. The river is over here, so we can fly out over the river. Just do a little pano there. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that down button. And there it is. We'll go ahead and stop. We got a nice shot of the river right there. I can bring it down with the dial, or if I want to do that satellite shot, I can bring it up to level and click it again, and now I'm shooting down at the water, which is pretty cool. So if you're doing like filming paddleboarding or surfing or something like that, you want to follow along, maybe somebody's kite surfing, as long as you got a big wide open space, shouldn't be any problem. And the video feed looks really good. So now we can click that again and bring it all the way back up to level. Now we're just going to turn around this direction back toward the neighborhood. Get that nice shot of the mountain. We got the park over there and the stream. If I want to make this a little more cinematic, again, I can like go back into video mode here, and this will make a nice introduction to one of your videos. A lot of times you see drone shots in the beginning of these like awesome documentaries, things like that. I see tons of drone shots in Netflix movies these days. And a lot more FPV drone shots too. And speaking of FPV, I don't know if any other reviewer has showed this or not, but it also has an FPV mode to it. So let's go ahead and switch the gimbal mode into FPV mode now. And let me show you that. So now it's gonna look a little different when I fly. So now it's gonna look more like, it's almost like an RC airplane / FPV drone. And I wouldn't say it's totally like an FPV drone, but definitely different looking video than what I had before with the total stabilized video. So pretty cool. And what I would like to do in FPV mode is, you know me, I would like to maybe see how it handles down the path, maybe under the trees right here, since we are in what they, you know, in parentheses, FPV mode. Can we actually FPV this? Maybe. Let's try to make a gap here. We're gonna try to keep it on the trail. Go down the trail, in between the trees. It just got out of GPS mode, which is interesting when it went under that tree, but again, trying to navigate. It seems real time enough that you can go kind of like in between obstacles. I'm not really sure I'd want to gap this like a true FPV drone, you know, going in between like holes through trees and really tight spaces. But right here, let's give this a shot. So I'm just getting a little lower, and it is a really lightweight drone. I'm just gonna try to make this gap right here. There's a little bit of lag, but I was able to make that, and here it comes. Awesome. So that'll make a cool shot. So you can get creative with it. You can have a lot of fun with this drone. It's so small that you can definitely make some gaps. I'm coming back down low to the field here again. Just gonna do a nice solid hover. And again, you have other flight modes that I can also show you, like orbit mode, we have rocket mode, and all kinds of really cool stuff. So let's take a look at those now, and then I'll give you my final thoughts, pros and cons on the Atom 2. All right, you guys, let's do the AI night demo. Let's check this out. Look at that. Look at the difference. So I'm gonna go up a little bit here, and I'm gonna show you the difference between the two on the app so that you can see that again. It's pretty neat. So I'm just gonna spin around. Gonna see the neighborhood there, the lights and everything. So we're gonna click turn off AI night and watch how it changes everything on the screen. Go back to normal. Look how dark everything is without the AI color correction on. It's pretty neat. So go ahead and start recording. Let's see if it'll let me switch modes while I'm recording. It probably won't, but we'll give it a shot. I would love to see it change as we're recording a file, but it won't let me do that. So we're gonna go ahead and stop that video so you can get an idea of what that looked like without it. And now let's also show you what it looks like with AI night scene, so we can do an A and B shot of this neighborhood shot right here. So I'm gonna press record, and now we're recording, and look at that, quite a bit of difference. So let's just pan to the left a little bit here. Let's check out the skyline. There should be more light over here to our left, so we're just gonna come over around so we get here. We're gonna pan down a little bit. Now we're gonna zoom in and see how the zoom looks. Okay, let's just come down toward the street. Oh, wow, that's actually pretty good. You know, considering what I've seen in the past, after 11 years of reviewing drones, that's pretty neat. So I can zoom back out. Pretty sweet. it's really neat now that we're getting like the technology from AI to be able to have like things like pixel correction. It's really cool. So I'm just gonna pan a little further. Isn't that neat? That is pretty cool. And there off into the distance is the sunset. Very pretty. Very nice. And what's cool is, you know, if you want to do some really gorgeous night shot, like night sunset shots, that's a really nice option. You really see a lot of the hues up in the sky, the pinks, the blues, the purples. And I've got 21 satellites right now. So let's get a shot. Just say you were using your regular drone. Let's stop the video and let's go back to normal mode. Okay, so typical drone shot would be something like this. And this is, you know, this is what the Atom 2 is going to get on the normal mode. So again, you can see the difference, just to give you guys the difference, okay? Right now I've got -10 tilt. Let me go up to full tilt so we can see that sky nice and big there. Okay, we'll tilt back down to where we were. Okay, and now we're going to stop this video and we'll return to the AI night vision. This is just too cool to me. And where it makes a huge difference is absolutely when you get down to the dark side of everything. That's where it makes a huge difference. You can see that car coming down the street. It's pretty cool. Little neighborhood surveillance there. That is neat. Nice pan. So, yeah, I will test the AI further, the AI night vision further, but for now, it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to bring it back down. Going to spot my landing here so we don't hit the tree. Coming on down. And what I can do is I can hit that button again and level out and look for my spot here as I'm coming down. Also got line of sight on it so I can see it coming down too, but very nice. All right. So let's bring that camera back up. And there's the backyard. And me chilling in the chair. Now this is what drone flying's all about right here. All right, let's give you some final thoughts. All right, guys, so we've gone through the modes, the AI night mode, all the different flight modes, and some fun just flying around in normal, video, and sport mode. And one of the things that I have to tell you is that I did compare it through ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, like, what would be the spec difference between the DJI 4K drone, the price, the specs, and everything, and which one would be, at the end of the day, the better buy. And ChatGPT came back and said that the Atom 2 would be the better buy because of the extra features that it has, like the AI tracking and the AI night mode where it fills in the pixels to make it less blurry in low light situations. So I think that the night footage looked pretty good, even compared to like my Avata 2 back in the day with a little bit more blur in night shots. So if you want to shoot at night, you're going to probably produce better video with the Atom 2. And aside from ChatGPT comparing the specs for us, which I showed you on the screen, the thing about this one is that it's 6 months later. If this video aged to 6 months from now, it's June 2025. If the FY25 Act went through and the presidential order went through right now, banning DJI from US consumers, we may be at a point where you're looking for an alternative. And it seems like this company is going to be one of those alternatives going forward in January 2026. So if that is our new reality, congratulations, and found kind of a good alternative to DJI Mini 4K with some updated additional features. So maybe some of the things that they could kind of fix is maybe the full mode in FPV mode. But I do like the fact that it is loaded with different sport modes on here. It has a long flight time, at least 28 minutes real world flight time. Full 4K video with AI tracking and AI night mode really kind of makes it a decent value. So, I mean, from my channel to you, like after 11 years of experience at that same price point as the DJI 4K, this one is just probably the better option for newer updated features. If you like drone reviews, you should definitely check out my channel, subscribe and like and comment and let me know what you think about the Atom 2. I'm Justin Davis, guys. Take care and I'll see you on the next one.